Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be telling you a bunch of things that I wish I knew sooner in Sons of the Forest, and just in general give you all some tips and tricks on Sons of the Forest to help you out if you're new to the game. So yeah, before we get started, a like would be very much appreciated, and let's get started with the first tip. So the first thing is, instead of opening up your inventory to get something out of your inventory, like your axe or something like that, you could just hold down the inventory button, and it'll pull out your backpack here. And you can get any of the items that you want. Like for me, if I want my axe, I can get that out. Or if I want my shotgun, I don't have my shotgun on here currently, but if I want my pistol, I can get that out too. Now, the way that you customize what's on here is by simply going into your inventory, putting your backpack into the center area here, and then you can put anything that you want on it. So like if I want to put my shotgun on there, I'll put that there. And then maybe I want to or instead of having a GPS tracker here, I can put like probably this cross there, or just anything like that. You know, you can customize what's on here to your liking. So yeah, that's the first tip. Next one is use shelves. So if your inventory is full while you're exploring around, use shelves. They're not hard to build. You can just put them in your starter base, and anytime you get full on something, you can just put them over here and keep a few in your inventory if they're like cans of pop or some food. That way you can go out and explore and pick stuff up instead of leaving it on the ground if your inventory is full. All right, now my next tip is to use food to heal unless you're in a dire situation, and then I would use your meds or your pills. As you can see, even if I eat one of these little energy bars here, it will replenish some of my health. Now if you eat some cooked meat, it will heal you up even more. And now if you're by a river, you can also have Kevin here go and get some fish for you. Although unfortunately in my base, I'm not close enough to the river where it'll give me the option to have him get fish. Like as you can see, if I go over here and I go to get, there's not an option to get fish here. But if you are by a river, or you built your base by a river, you can have Kevin get some fish for you, and you'll have basically an endless supply of food. You can always have him bringing you fish, and you'll be chilling. Some more tips with Kevin is that when you want him to go and get you stuff, like if you want him to get logs for you, if you're building your base or something like that, instead of having him just placing it on the ground, whether it's logs, sticks, rocks, or anything like that, build these collectors, because one, it just looks a lot better instead of having a bunch of logs on the ground. If it's logs that he's getting, logs, when you place them on the ground, they can easily roll, even if they're on just a tiny bit of a slope. So like for me, I had them, when I was building this base, I had them placing logs right here, and they were just rolling right down the hill. It would look like he wasn't even getting logs because they were all down there. So get these containers here. And also another good reason for this is if you have logs sitting on the ground and okay, I'll deal with you in a minute. But if you have logs sitting on the ground and you log out of the game and then log back on, they will all despawn. But when they're in these containers, you can log out the game and they will stay there. So yeah. But as I said, you can have Kevin get anything you want, like sticks and rocks, and build. You can also build holders for those as well. All right, so this guy being here actually plays well into my next tip, and that is that headshots do more damage. So in any case, unless you're using buckshot with a shotgun, but if you're using... Okay, well, come on, I was trying... Anyway, headshots do more damage. So if you're using a bow and arrow, crossbow, the pistol, or slug shot with a shotgun, you want to aim for the head, because they will pretty much kill them instantly with any of those weapons. But if you are using buckshot, you can aim anywhere and it'll pretty much insta-kill anything. So another tip is to burn your bodies. Don't just let these cannibals that you kill sit on the ground and then eventually despawn. You can burn them for bones. And bones are really important in this game because you can build bone armor. And bone armor is a pretty darn good armor in the game. It's not the best armor. It's not as good as creepy armor or tech armor. But it's still a very good armor. So like for me, I have a bone storage thing in here just full of bones. So if I run out of bone armor, which I don't actually have any armor on right now for some reason, but I can craft a bunch of it up here with these bones. So yeah, burn your bodies. And this next tip is to get a lot of arrows in the game, because especially early game, when you have the bow and arrow and you have to craft all your arrows, you're going to need a lot of feathers. And you can do this little technique thing right here that I've seen on YouTube a couple of times, where you put some sticks on the ground and then put some rocks around them and then put a skull on top of them. And then if you use the slingshot here, let me turn the light on so you can see better. If you use the slingshot here, you can shoot all these birds off. Okay, now but another, this is kind of another tip here, but the aiming with the slingshot, especially when you're close to stuff, like I'd say this far away, you gotta aim like, here's a good scenario, right? I'd say, oh, never mind. You have to aim like pretty high, and there seems to be a lot of cannibals over here, but yeah, that's a good way to get feathers. You can also use these bird houses, but they don't give you very many. So if you need a lot of feathers in a relatively short amount of time, use this technique right there. And now this tip wasn't actually on my list that I was going to include in this video, but when you're using your slingshot, if it's the winter time and you run out of rocks or small rocks, you can find plenty of small rocks on the beach down yonder over there. So if it's the winter time, then just head on down there to get your small rocks. And as you can see, this bird thing is working quite well. They're landing on him all the time. Now, these next two tips actually have to do with building your base and where to put it. Now, the first one is don't build your base by a road. If we pull out the map here, you can see like the lines running around on the map. Those are roads. You don't want to be too near of them or too close to them because those roads get patrolled more. And if you build your base right next to a road, you're going to have cannibals stopping by pretty much every day from what I've seen. I'm pretty close to a road, although not too close. I do, as you heard, Virginia over there killing a bunch of cannibals. They do stop by pretty frequently, but I'm kind of okay with that now that I'm further into the game. But yeah, don't build close to roads. And then also, when you're building your base, when you're cutting down trees fall in the direction that you're looking. So don't look at your base when you're cutting down trees. Now, if you don't want to worry about structure damage, like if you do accidentally drop a tree on your base, you don't want it to hurt it, you can also just turn off structure damage here. I currently have it turned off, but you can turn it back on if you want. But if you do have structure damage on, don't look at your base when you're cutting down trees. And if you can look wherever you want to cut them down. So if I want to like lay this tree right down this little valley right here, I can just first cut the side out here, and then I can start it. Once I get more of it cut down, I can start looking in the direction that I want it to fall, and there she goes, right where I was looking. So yeah, and this tip right here also goes with cutting trees down. Get yourself the modern axe. This thing works phenomenally, especially when compared to the small hatchet that you get in the beginning of the game. I don't have a tutorial on how to get it, but I will include one in the description, or actually I'll put it in the top comment. It's a very essential item that you'll want when building up your base. All right, now this next tip has to do with sleeping and skipping seasons. Now you can actually just sleep multiple days in a row. Like if it gets to winter and you're not prepared for winter yet, you can just sleep like 4 or 5 days in a row and you'll be good to go. You'll skip the season. So yeah, that's just a quick tip right there. If you don't like winter, you can just skip by sleeping. So yeah, and also save your game as often as you possibly can. You know, as soon as you do anything important in the game, or you build anything cool, or you get a new item or anything like that, save your game, because if you die and you'll go back to your last save. So any progress that you made after that save, gone. Got to do it again. Or also I've had cases where my game just randomly crashes, and it might have been like 3 hours since a save. And then if my game crashes, boom, all that progress is lost. So just save your game often. You can build one of them quick, like, whoa, it is dark. Hold on, let me sleep. As I was saying, you can build one of these like starter or like tent structures here to save super easily, just by putting it down. You don't have to put down 2 tarps. I accidentally did that, but just put down a tarp and then put a stick under one of the corners, and then now you can save your game. And yeah, just save all the time. You won't regret it. Now I have one more tip for you here, and this one is you can duplicate any item in the game pretty much that you can find on the ground just by going to wherever you find it, whether it's at like an enemy camp, it might be like some MREs or something like that. Pick up all the items at that camp and then build one of these structures where you can save, and then save at that structure, and then exit out to the main menu and then rejoin the game, and everything at that camp should have respawned, or no, it would have respawned, and you can pick it back up, and then you can do that over and over and over again to duplicate any items that you find on the ground. So that's a really useful tip that I've took advantage of a bunch while playing Sons of the Forest. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all got some value out of this video. I'll probably do another one as I play more of Sons of the Forest. I do have about 25 hours in the game right now, but yeah, as I play the game more, I might find some more useful tips for you. And yeah, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.